all, let me introduce Jorge Fuenzalida. He's a Vice President and General Manager at Incode Consulting. It's a strategy consulting arm of Ericsson, a big company with a small group that is extremely smart and knowledgeable about what's going on in the world in general, in telecommunications and wireless, in data. The role that George plays is overseeing the whole operations of Incode. The clients that they serve range from carriers to equipment manufacturers to private equity groups to cable MSOs. Most recently, just to outline what the group works on, is 4G product development, spectrum strategy, RFID, near-field communications, and corporate strategy. He's got an MBA from the best school in the world, go Duke. He's got a double E, a bachelor's from UVA, and he's a chartered financial analyst. Please welcome George to the stage.
Well, thanks again. In my office, my very Spartan office, I've got, I think, about 8 or 9 plaques for being here at different events, both in-year and also a host of these end-of-year panels. So I'm thrilled to be here again. I'm not sure why I keep being invited back, but I'm back, and we're here to talk about a few things tonight. Each year, Incode does a top 10 list. We publish it usually towards the end of the year, sometimes at the very beginning of the year. This year it'll be coming out the first few days of January. But what I'll be doing tonight is speaking on a few topics as well with the other speakers to hit a few items for next year. And these will all be part of our top 10 list. So you're getting a sneak preview as to what we'll be coming out with in about 5 weeks. Before I get started, I'll say a few words on Incode, but the topics I'll be addressing include over the top, both from the wireless perspective as well as the cable industry perspective with video. I'll talk a little bit about enterprise. And enterprise is a bit of the forgotten category when you think of all the innovation around consumer and consumer apps and devices. We see a lot of positive trends heading towards the enterprise over the next year plus. And finally, a topic that we're all looking at and talking about is the connected planet, and including a little focus on wearable devices. And here I am tonight with this microphone that looks like one of these old phones, and I was commenting that it looks a little bit low tech. Hopefully in the future we'll get a better connected device up here for the speakers. Real quickly on Incode, I think most of you know who we are, but again, a strategy and technology firm, a strategy and technology consulting firm focused exclusively in the telecom, media, and technology marketplace. Andriy introduced some of our clients and some of our services, but the main item to think about with Incode is not only the dedication to the space, but we also maintain both the strategic side and the technical side to the business, so we end up covering the multiple functions within our client set. We were acquired 3 years ago by Ericsson, and we operate as an independently run, sort of separately branded division inside of Ericsson. Well, first, over the top. Well, over the top means a lot of things to a lot of folks. From the wireless perspective, you see over the top as a set of services that are ultimately monetized directly by somebody else, whether it's Facebook or video chat or something like that, and where the carrier is then only receiving the benefit through the bandwidth. It's very interesting to see what's happening to the carriers in this area when you think of the good old days, from all the different services that we used to know and love, from long distance and paging that are all gone now, to now voice, which is certainly under some sort of attack, texting, which has suffered a fairly sizable downturn in its revenue. So when I look at the business, I see, first of all, what will over the top look like? What will the services look like in the future? And I think the silos that we still see today with regards to making a phone call or creating a text message or doing something, it's very integrated. And when you think about some of the new players like a WhatsApp, or in China, a WeChat, which are basically all-in-one type services. It's part social networking, part messaging, part voice, part voicemail, part everything. That's certainly where it's heading. Now, the carriers are certainly not asleep at the switch, and I as a loyal provider of AT&T, shareholder of AT&T, you think about some of the core assets with regards to not only the customer base, but spectrum, network, both fixed and wireless. The demand and the assault on these networks is significant to the point where the ability to monetize on that basis is still very, very strong. So while there's disruption happening to services, we see still a healthy ecosystem. With video, it's now coming. So when you think about wireless, some of the over-the-top impacts on wireless have already happened. With video, as of mid this year, now 5% of people that enjoy video are doing it exclusively in over-the-top means. So what does that mean? It could mean Netflix, could mean Hulu, could be more a la carte type services. But that's pretty big. That means 5% have sort of cut the video cord. There are other advancements that are happening over the next year. Aereo is a company many of you may have heard of, but it's basically an ability to get your local programming in an over-the-top sort of store and forward type basis on any device. You're starting to see sports leagues, and I'm a big football fan. You see the NFL taking more and more of its properties in over-the-top type fashion. So with that happening, our big prediction for next year is a create your own bundle prediction, where early on it'll be individuals creating their own bundle. Already 5% have taken that impact, taken that action. But you'll start seeing a new category of companies, which is basically video content bundler type companies that are then forming relationships and helping you navigate the different video options. Next up is enterprise, and enterprise will receive a tremendous degree of attention across the market. From the carrier perspective, you certainly see attention in terms of getting into more comprehensive services beyond the network. And I think the carriers have a great opportunity to play there. I see Lee Wagner in the audience, and Lee and I were colleagues at Incode. AT&T 3 years ago bought one of Incode's divisions, which is in enterprise mobile solutions. That's certainly one category of an enterprise type play. But what we see from a more broader enterprise IT trend is software-defined networking. And what that is the disintermediation of software and hardware from solutions. And you think about what enterprises need from data storage to on-demand bandwidth, broadly spoken, as-a-service type offers. There's a lot going on there. We have a few logos of some startups, but look for Google, look for Amazon. This will be a big play of theirs into the enterprise space. Then from the mobile side, enterprise mobility side, you're seeing the trend going from traditional mobile device management to mobile application management to now more user-centric management. And what's behind that is it's device proliferation, it's more cloud-oriented computing, and the fact that it's going from just the where are my devices to now let's make them secure, let's provision them, to now let's make it work everywhere. I saw some now it's getting quite a bit into the legal domain when you think about bringing your own device, because if you have your own device, it's your own device. If it's broken and someone needs to attend to it, who owns that information at that point? So there's an emerging gray area as to, do you really want to bring your own device? Because once you hand it over to your IT shop, they at this point usually have the right to access everything that's on there. So there's a growing topic around how do you separate the devices if you are going to use them for multiple uses. The third broad topic we're talking about tonight is Connected Planet. And Connected Planet, our parent company at Ericsson has put a bold statement out saying there will be 50 billion connected devices by 2020. And just thinking about the last 12 months, I've been in this business a long time. I started a GPS sort of vehicle tracking company 13 years ago, and it was really early. Just telling people, like in this kind of audience, what GPS was. But now seeing what has the amount of investment, walking the halls of CES last year and seeing connected cars, connected health, connected fitness, connected everything, certainly there is a lot of buzz. And when you get past the buzz, you'll see a lot of reality and a lot of interesting business cases. So with regards to healthcare, clearly the tailwinds are around an aging population and being able to live a productive life in your own home and being able to have appropriate monitoring. In all of these, however, you've got things like battery life, you've got insurance companies, you have other mitigating factors that will govern how it plays out. With connected cars, it's the same thing. I think who doesn't want a connected car? Yeah, everyone loves cars, and it's certainly a keen interest. There you're going to see what the battle will be around the platform. Will it be the car companies? Will it be a third-party type technology company? Will it be the carriers? How will that ecosystem play out? And much like a lot of the industry, it'll probably depend on a more centralized coordination for that industry to truly take off. There's also the battle of, is it a smartphone that you put into a car that already has some electronics in it, or is it the car is fully connected sort of as it's come out previously, and which model will play out? It'll probably be a hybrid, but early on probably more smartphone-centric, over time more of a flexible car-type centric. With regards to, there's also connected home, obviously, with the investment that AT&T and others are making. Right now, about 20% of us enjoy home security. The prediction is for that 20% to go north of that number, 25, 30, pick a number, but more of a truly connected home, much beyond today's security type products. So on that, we certainly see some positive uptake in the industry this year. There's a company called Vivint, which is sort of interesting to watch. They were bought last year by Blackstone for $2 billion. They have close to 1 million subs, but that's a pretty expensive ratio. They've got a similar type offering to what you've seen from AT&T and some of the other cable companies. Independent, probably frankly, the private equity firm has now invested in probably a buyout target down the road. On the Connected Planet, people are talking quite a bit about wearables, and we see wearables evolving over the next few years, driven quite a bit by connected fitness, connected watches. I think everyone's waiting to see the Google Glass launch in early 2014. In terms of adoption factors, clearly battery life is a consideration. Privacy is a big consideration. So if you've got your Google Glass on, you can probably do certain things that maybe are not as obvious versus today's world. So that's certainly a consideration as well. To me, one of the a couple of the important things to watch are, first of all, just the demographics. Those of you that are sort of below the age of 25 don't know a world that's not connected. You're expecting it, and will be a demographic that will be an early adopter here. As a parent of a couple of young kids, I've seen the anxiety of being a parent and how that plays out. You can now, there are several companies that offer connected pajamas. So the infant can wear the pajamas, and it's not just heartbeat and things like that. It'll tell you exactly how long they slept for, what kind of REM cycle they got, are they rested, other vital signs, and it's all in a very, it looks just like pajamas, it feels just like pajamas, there's some embedded electronics inside of there. So when you start thinking about those kinds of use cases, some of us might frown and say, well, why do I need connected pajamas? But in 1984, everyone said, why do I need a mobile phone? I've got phones. Right? So I think this will be a big one to watch. We're not predicting a huge number of units. It'll probably emerge with watches over the next year, but certainly as some of the enabling technology plays out, this will be a big category to watch, especially 2 to 3 years out. So with that said, I'll turn it back to you, Andriy, and the rest of the speakers. Thank you.